Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor,
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
and we have questions from last week's show. Shawn, if you
Uh-oh.
remember at the end of last week, it just seems like every week we're ending in some kind of a cliffhanger. The-
Or we're making somebody mad, or they're calling us out, and we have to
yeah,
rebuke our
yeah.
our, our listeners.
Well, all right. This one, I was talking about me buying a USB hub at a discount store.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. And it's electronic necessities. It's a USB-A four-port hub. It has a one USB-C port on it. And you guys brought up something really important at the end of the show that I ought to be careful before I plug this in. Because you bought it at a store doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be safe.
It's safe. Yeah.
And I had a couple of people ask me like, wait, what does that mean? What kind of dangers could you run into? And I remembered not long ago seeing posts where people had been buying storage drives. Now, number one, you don't want to get ripped off, but they've been buying storage drives online. And when they get the storage drive, it's like, a no name brand or whatnot. And when they open it up, they're basically SD cards. It's just a couple of SD cards that have been hot glued into the inside of this thing.
Or it's just a small chip that's saying you have 2 terabytes, but then you
Yeah.
fill it up and you're like you put one picture on it, and then it's like out of space.
How did that happen? Right?
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I went ahead and I promised you guys. I said I would go ahead and take a look at it. I would just for the sake of it. So I took the
Ooh, we
enclosure,
actually took it apart. Nice.
took it apart. It was actually pretty easy to take apart, which that also worried me a little.
Yeah.
Um, and here is basically the inners, and I'll show you of what I got on
Yep.
this. And it looks like a honest to goodness USB hub with USB, three USB A and one USB C. So
Yeah.
I didn't see, there's one processor on it, as you could see, but I believe that would be needed to actually control the thing.
Yeah.
Have to have
No,
that.
it looks like a legit. No nefarious looking pieces or transmitters or anything on there.
Yeah. So I'll be able to put it back in the housing very easily, and it should hopefully work for me. But it was actually kind of fun to open the thing up and
Yeah.
try and do it so I didn't just absolutely destroy it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you just so our listeners catch up, right? It's like you just don't try to avoid buying USB cables from gas stations
yeah,
and, convenience stores or other strange places. Like go to a reputable vendor, go to Anchor, go to B&H Photo, go to, and spend a little bit more money than, oh, this is $3. It's going to give me 4 USB ports. Like, spend a little bit more money just for some peace of mind.
well, security wise, Sean, we have talked about this in the past that if you're walking out on maybe a school campus or even a shopping area and you see a USB drive on the floor.
Plug it in.
Yeah, don't want to do that. The last thing you want to
You,
do
yeah,
is plug that thing in because it has been common for people to use the method of a flash drive with, malware, whatever on it. Just drop them somewhere. Somebody takes it, curiosity killed the cat, plugs it into your computer, and next thing you know, you run into other problems.
well, yeah. I mean, with the ease of being able to put scripts on something, so you plug a USB drive in, all of a sudden it's installed malware in the back end, and you've got a botnet running, and somebody's mining crypto. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that people can do with just a simple USB drive.
And that's why I'm always nervous. Have you ever had the situation, Sean, where somebody comes over? It could be a family member, it could be a friend. So, oh yeah, here, let me plug my drive in to your computer. Some people, my kids have looked at me like, Dad, come on, it's me. But I don't know where that drive's been.
True. Yeah,
And
you don't know if their system's been compromised or not. That's why I have a Windows lab. Well, not Windows. It's running Linux. But if somebody wants to plug something in, okay, you want to give me some files? Here you go.
yeah,
Plug it into this computer that I don't care about, that I can reimage in 2 seconds.
right. Well, being on that note, of a USB drive, a flash drive, whatever capacity. I mean, even, just a smaller, older drive could cause some damage. The idea now is we've seen this at airports and other places, restaurants, coffee shops, where somebody just leaves a USB cable behind. And you look at it and you think, wow, I can use that. That's going to be great. No, don't want to do that either.
No, don't. It just. I'm just gonna say it again. Don't trust anybody else's USB cables. Don't trust a stranger. Don't trust. I mean, even just plugging into like, you sit at a desk at most airports now, and they have USB ports in them. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Oh, you mean like you can
Plug
plug
it.
in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they take a regular outlet and they put, two Edison plugs and two USB ports in it. Don't plug into those USB ports. You don't know where that goes.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, okay, give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? It's an airport, it's a public space. There's no way they want to compromise that, but you don't know. You just don't know.
All right.
So just, use your own power brick or just use your own USB cable or, plug into power first and then because they also make cables that will
Right.
just power.
Right. Somebody told me, one of the benefits of the newer laptops is longer battery life. So if you go to a coffee shop and you're running out of battery, that means it's time to leave the coffee shop. So you don't have to plug in to their power.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're playing video games at the coffee shop,
Yeah.
if you're doing just writing or notebooking or just catching up on emails, you should have no issue with battery life on a current laptop or an iPad or something.
Right. Right. All right. So speaking of laptops, you have been consulting with your parents,
My in-laws.
your in-laws. Okay, so you've been consulting with the in-laws about a system. You ended up finding, I believe it was a Lenovo that you
Yeah,
were.
so we right after Christmas, we spent some time looking at they said, "Hey, we've got a really old HP laptop
Hmm.
from 2015 or 2016. It's got 4 gigabytes of RAM in it. It won't upgrade to Windows 11. Basically, they got the Windows 11 update alert saying your
Right.
computer needs to be updated to Windows 11. And then they took it to the local computer shop and they said, oh, yeah, this won't upgrade to Windows 11. Um, and so they're like, we want to get a new computer that, we don't, in the next 5 to 6 years, don't have to replace.
Right.
So they gave me a budget of $800.
It's not that much.
And no, it's not, but you can get a reasonably priced laptop. You can get a reasonably good laptop for that price. So I started looking. And
Right.
really my options were limited to some Lenovo's and some Dells, and a couple Acers in there, right? But
Right.
so I really wanted to get something from somewhere I knew. Like I didn't want to go to I didn't want him to go down to the street to Best Buy. I didn't want to go to Target, Meijer, Walmart, any of those types of things. So we narrowed it down to Micro Center.
Hmm.
So
We don't have one of those out here in
there's a Micro
Arizona.
Center about 2 hours from where they live,
Right.
but you can get them shipped from Micro Center for
Yeah.
pennies. It's worth it. Plus, you can get the Micro Center warranty, the whole thing.
I remember when I was looking for a 3080 graphics card, and it was like they're coming out. I sent my son, who lives in Huntington Beach, to Irvine to our micro center there, which was about 30 minutes away, because it showed that they had one, and he got there and they didn't. They were out of them, and I had to talk to the clerk, and I was so disappointed. It was so sad.
Yeah, no, I remember that story, and
Yep.
I I went to the one in Indianapolis when it opened because it
Right.
opened maybe a year and a half ago now, right before the eclipse actually. Um, and it's cool. It's just a big geek store. I love it.
Yeah. Is
So
it?
we ended up
Did you have fries out there?
no, so not here. We had a Fry's when I lived in San Diego, and that was awesome because
Yeah.
I went there all the time to buy resistors and when I was doing little hobby project work. Like, you walk in, turn to the right, there's just
Yep.
components, a
Everything. Yeah.
wall of components,
Yeah.
and you can't because I used to go to Radio Shack all the time when I was a kid. When I was building my RC planes and RC cars and stuff, man, Radio Shack was the place to go.
Right.
And now you get cheap garbage on Amazon. Like that's
Yeah.
if you want it quick and fast, you got to so like I'm going to sidetrack here, but if you're looking for good quality components online, DigiKey or Mouser. Those are the
What is
two.
it? DigiKey?
DigiKey or Mouser. I don't know how they pronounce it. Those are
Yeah.
the two that every ham radio subreddit, every ham radio club that I've ever been a part of has told me those are the two. Plus, um, the Xbox modding community because I'm bought an old original Xbox that I'm repairing and upgrading.
An original
Or an
Xbox?
OG, yeah. It's I
Oh,
bought it.
wow.
I got it on good. Bought it at Goodwill. So we'll talk about that another time. But yeah. So there are certain things that you can get you don't want to cheap out on. And that's electronic components. So
Yeah.
DigiKey, Mouser, um, those for components. But
All right.
back on track to the laptop.
Okay.
Micro Center, that's where we got off track. Narrowed it down, $800, and ended up getting them a Lenovo ThinkPad T17,
Oh, that's good.
which is good. Yeah, 1 terabyte of storage, 16 gigabytes of RAM. If 14 and a half inch screen, or whatever, 16-inch total width.
Yeah.
And it Windows 11 Home, more than enough for what they need. And then we started let's get some time. You come down here to my house and we'll
Right.
move all your stuff over.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. And I had recommended PC Mover, but
Right. Well, I'm a big proponent of not moving over install, like not just copying
fresh
install
install.
file.
Yeah.
Yeah, a fresh
Yeah.
install. Like here's the program, reinstall it so it's fresh. It's not pulling over any garbage, temporary files, all that stuff. Got screwed
Oh, no.
by Microsoft OneDrive.
Really? What happened?
So I thought I had it disabled because I hate OneDrive. It comes installed,
Yeah.
pre-installed. You have to log in, and I was trying to do there's a secret code you can punch in when you're at the screen. You hit Win F10 and then type in the little cheat code so that reboot and doesn't ask you for the login. Couldn't
Right.
get it to work. Couldn't get it to work. We were running out of time, so I just said, you know what, Pete, log in with your Microsoft account. We'll get you hooked up. Whatever. Thought we had disabled OneDrive. Got my mother-in-law's account also created, disabled OneDrive, all this stuff. We copied stuff over to a 64 gig thumb drive for them because they
Right.
didn't really have that much stuff. It was about 55 gigs worth of stuff they wanted to copy over.
Yeah.
Pete started copying it over and called me and said, "Hey, it says I'm out of space."
Uh-oh.
And I said, "What do you mean? You have 1,000 gigabytes and you have 55 gigabytes worth of stuff like this?"
Yeah.
He says, "It's telling me that I can go online and buy more storage."
Oh.
I was like, "Don't do that,"
Yeah.
because his account was automatically set up for all of his files on his desktop and everything to back up to OneDrive.
Boy.
So it didn't matter. As soon as he started copying files over, they were just going up to the cloud.
Right. Right.
So it was just like, okay. So then we had to get rid of OneDrive, remove it, restart the copying process over, make sure we had everything. So it just was a little bit of a pain trying to, I just want, don't make me make an account. This is
Right.
this is one of my biggest pet peeves about Windows. Don't make me log in. Don't
Yeah.
sync me. I'll sync all that stuff later if I want to. Don't make me do that right off the rip. Give me a fresh bare bones install that I can then log into whatever I want. So there
And
was
please don't just throw Copilot at me.
yeah. So I uninstalled OneDrive. I uninstalled Copilot. I uninstalled all that garbage, which was great because now they're home free. They're loving the computer. They're like, holy cow, I can't believe it's so fast. I mean, they're going from this ancient, I don't even remember what model it is, but it was very slow. But they're very happy with it.
Oh, good. Good.
For those of you who know Lenovo laptops, they were confused by the little red nib in the middle.
Right.
The mouse,
Yeah,
the little they were like, what is that? What does it do? And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, what we've never seen this before on a computer before in our lives. I was like, you put your finger on it, it's a mouse. And they're like,
Yeah.
what? And then I was like, yeah, watch. And then I showed them you can move it. So they were very confused by that at first. I told them about it, but they'd obviously forgotten.
Are they going to
They
get
were
a
confused.
mouse?
They had the Bluetooth USB mouse that they had on their old computer, which is already moved over, and
Yeah.
but just when they're traveling, sometimes it's easier just to. My father-in-law loves it. He would prefer to use that little red nib
Really?
and the touchpad. Yeah, my mother-in-law, not a trackpad person by any means. She hates trackpads.
Same here.
So now they're all logged in. They were amazed at how easy it was to sync their Google accounts.
Oh, cool. Yep.
They're like, I want all my bookmarks. Okay, well, let's just log you in. Here's all your bookmarks. Well, that was fast.
Yep.
So the Google stuff was great. They were worried about their Google Photos.
Right.
Like they're like, how are we going to make sure all of our Google Photos are there? I was like, well, they're already in the cloud, so you just log in and you see them.
There they are.
They're there. So because we set them up so all their phone they have the Pixel 4s, and they update all their photos to the cloud automatically. And I've really made it very. I don't want to say I forced some things onto them,
Right.
but getting them to a point where they can just take pictures on their phones and they're on their phone, but they're also in the cloud has been wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Because then
Oh,
they're
that's
like,
the best thing in the
well,
world.
I deleted it off my phone. So I got them to a point where their photos and stuff are in the cloud, and it's
Good.
really great. And they're happy with it. It connects to their Wi-Fi just fine. They haven't had any issues with it. Um,
What about
But you know-
third-party programs? I mean, were you thinking, because here, you get a new computer for somebody who hasn't upgraded in a while. There's so many different options. Number one, antivirus. Number two, productivity software like, Office. I believe you're an Adobe user. And, do you go and get GIMP? Do you go to Alternative 2? What do you end up doing?
well, for them, they had a very limited selection of things they needed.
Right.
So the things they had were Malwarebytes,
Mm-hmm.
CCleaner.
Right.
They had a copy of Office 2016,
Mm-hmm.
which is whatever. So it they had a student license of Microsoft 2016 that they had bought back in 2016. If you install that, it actually puts you into Microsoft 365,
Yeah.
which was weird. It uses that license, but
Right.
gives you access to the base level of Microsoft 365.
Okay. Right.
So that's all they needed for that. And then he had Avery Label Maker
Right.
that he had a software for that we reinstalled so he can print his beer cap labels. I used he prints his beer cap labels, so he has the
Right.
he has the little designs and all that stuff. So he didn't want to lose all that.
That's cool.
And then I used Nanite. We've talked
Oh, yeah.
about that on the show before.
Night. Yep.
So I just clicked, I have the 7 things I needed it for to install. I did Chrome, Firefox, Malwarebytes, a couple other, I don't remember, the Office suite, whatever. I just picked a couple things. Boom, it was so easy.
Right.
So I'd recommend Nanite. But other than that, I just put, Ad Blocker Plus on their Chrome,
Right.
and
It's good to go.
they're home. They're scot free.
I gotta say this. So this week I worked on the Dell. Well, their screen had gone out. So they brought me the laptop, and I went ahead and hooked it up, and I hooked up their HDMI port out. Saw that it was working on an external monitor, so I knew, okay, it's not your board, it's not a graphics card, it's the screen. So I went ahead and I ordered the screen. The screen came in, very easy to replace. I found a great website, and I'll put a link in the on the blog that did step by step. They sell parts for it. I mean, really, I was really impressed by that. Really, really well done. Almost like, I want to say almost like PC Part Picker, but they really outline the whole process to make it easier for even somebody who had very little skills when it came to this. They could replace it. But I ended up doing that for them, and then once I got the screen in and got it booted up, and I had to call them and say, oh yeah, I need the code because I need to check, because when you work with the replacement of a screen, you generally have to disconnect your Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi card, and the Wi-Fi card sometimes could be a little iffy. So I want to make sure the Wi-Fi was working, and I got that working and everything. But then, oh boy, then I saw the pop-ups, the unwanted programs that were on the laptop. So I had to place a call into her and say, okay, here's what I got. And I said, may I run Malwarebytes on it? And she said, no, yeah, please, because the only thing I want is Chrome. And she had some other kind of browser that was completely hijacking. So we ran Malwarebytes, 190 some odd different issues with the computer with Malwarebytes.
Oh boy.
And she said, it has been kind of slow lately. So we had Malwarebytes do the cleanup, and that thing is real peppy now. So it's amazing how a program like that can really find some of the crud that you don't want on your computer that may get installed. And some of this stuff was installed just because they installed some other program and it just wanted to install a whole bunch of others, like Driver Tonic. It was just
Yeah.
a mess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was really wanted to walk through my in-laws through the whole process was so they didn't get Chrome or get some other software and say, "Oh, I need this software looks fun. Let's
Yeah.
download this one." And this, "Oh, I need it wants to update my drivers. Let's click on this link." And I'm really trying to get them into a good repetition of not downloading programs and installing them just
Right.
because they had two different ad bot search and destroys or
Yeah.
stuff that they clearly just clicked on links to download stuff. And
Yeah. You got to be really careful with that.
it's hard when every site is so aggressive on the fake links and the fake downloads. It's
Right.
hard for people not to click on stuff. Even legitimate websites, like you get click on this to download and it starts downloading, but then it pops up and say download now, and you're like, oh wait, do I need to
Yeah.
click on that? Oh wait, it's already downloading. So
Or if you go, I've done this before, where you go to a website and you want to get a program, and it will say you're looking for the program, and there is an ad, and it says download now, and you're thinking you're downloading the program that you wanted, but you're not. Now, do you prefer Ninite over Alternative Two? Do
you
work?
know,
How does that work?
they're both their own thing,
All right,
right? So Night is you go and you click. Okay, actually, let me go to the website. I can tell you, it's way easy. It's Night
and that's
Nite.com.
NITE.
Nite. Yeah. So it's got okay. It just tells you pick the apps you want, right? So I
Right.
want Chrome, Malwarebytes, Zoom, Discord, Skype. Okay. Oh, iTunes, VLC, Winamp, Audacity. Just Python. Okay. Visual Code, Studio Code. Okay.
Right.
Evernote. A bunch of stuff. There's probably 70 apps on here,
Right.
and then you hit Get Your Night, and it
Cool.
downloads. It downloads a package, and then it just mass installs.
Now, is there
Done.
a cost for this, or is it
Nope, it's
pretty much
free.
free? Yeah.
Now you can manage your downloads with Night, meaning it will look for updates and apply those updates, and you can Night Pro. You can get Night Pro if you want,
Oh, cool.
but there's
All right.
it's not there's not a big cost.
Right.
So
All right. Ninite. NINITE.com.
yeah,
Let
but
me look
then
up.
like you said, alternative too, right? That's a different type of website, right? That's
That's
just a
yeah.
all right. I have Microsoft Office. Well,
Right.
what are my alternatives to Microsoft Office? You type in Microsoft Office, and it's going to give you, Notepad plus
Right.
plus. You
Right.
know, it's going to give you OpenOffice, LibreOffice. It's going to give you alternatives to that software.
I was
So if
flow charting a network, and that's, you got your switch here, you got your hub here, you got your computer here, got another computer. I was doing that. And Visio, Microsoft Visio has been one of those that a lot of people use but don't have it. So I went to Alternative 2 and it recommended Lucid. So I went ahead and, ran that, and yeah, it handled it perfectly. And you could use a free version of it. You get so many templates that you can work with, or you could buy the full version. So it's a gateway to maybe a program that you could really get into if you don't want to spend the money for Visio or another program that could do something similar. So yeah, I liked it.
yeah, so overall the install went good,
Right?
and they're happy. Like
They're super happy.
just
Yeah.
yeah, just the beginning steps where he started copying pictures and music from his desktop over, and it all of a sudden was all going to the cloud. It
Hmm.
it I was frustrated by that. It's just I don't want it. There's no need for it for him for them, and it just was frustrated because it's like it blocked him. Then he's all frustrated. He's like, I'm out of space, but I thought you said we had 1,000 gigabytes, but now it's telling me
Right.
I need to buy more space, and I'm about to use my credit card to buy more space, and I'm like, hold on. So just
Yeah. Apparently, now I don't know if you saw the news about this, and this would be something that maybe somebody would want to look at. And I haven't really delved into it too much. Microsoft has a program, PC Manager, and it's a Microsoft program. But apparently, this PC Manager they're saying it's an easier way to clear cache files, clear old programs. And I mean, that has been a part of Microsoft, but now they're making it to make it a little richer, a little more of a better experience when wanting to manage your Windows. And again, I'm gonna give it a full try, and then I should have a kind of an update for you next week on the show. But it looks like a pretty good program.
But yeah, it's available on the Microsoft Store. I just looked at it. I'm downloading it right now. Just check it out.
Yep,
It's free. And it
that
just
makes
says
it nice.
Microsoft PC Manager is a utility app for your PC that effortlessly enhances PC performance.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. There is a big festival that's going to be happening in Southern California in the city of Orange, my old stomping grounds. It is the Vintage Computer Festival, SoCal. And we're going to talk with Mickey and Steve, the showrunner and producers of the event, about what to expect and why you definitely want to head out to this and check out their website for more info. And again, that'll be coming up with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird. Find us on the web at techtalkradio.com.
We'll be right back. And welcome back to Tech Talk Radio. I am so excited to be able to get Mickey and Steve on with us. They're the people behind Vintage Computer Festival SoCal, which is coming up actually next weekend. So if you want to think about a getaway, you want to go out to the city of Orange, Orange, California, for Hotel Fair, the event center there for this big Vintage Computer Festival. And yeah, I when I first saw this, Steve, I got to tell you, I was like, oh, this would be so much fun to go to. And plus, it's my old, stomping grounds, the city of Orange. This has got to be a lot of fun for you guys to put together.
Next question.
Okay, fun, but a lot of work. I know that's where you were going with it. Seriously, so where did this idea come up with when you realized that people really did like vintage computers?
Oh, well, people have loved vintage computers for years, of course. It's just, it keeps shifting. My vintage computer years is the, late 70s, 80s, and then 90s became like my adult life, and I'm working on IBMs and fixing printer problems. So that's not vintage to me, at least me.
But it is now.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, because I know it. But well, yeah, so that's a crazy story. So Mickey and I, we do the VCF SoCal, and it wasn't a hard idea to come up with because there's other ones in the country that, of course, we've been to, and we're like, why isn't there one here?
Yeah.
So we've been doing the VitNerd YouTube channel, and that's what all this, we're in the VitNerd studio right now.
Yeah.
And so we started that about 4 years ago. And as we tried out, going out to VCFs across the country to check them out,
And
again,
Roadshow the Vintner.
Right, Roadshow the VitNerd. I would it be appropriate to say I roped Mickey into like, we could do one here, and she loves planning things, and not just not just a backyard party or something, and like events and such.
Corporate events, and that it's my wheelhouse. And then I do have is that mine right there? That's my Commodore.
Commodore, yeah.
I do have some roots in the vintage myself. And so I was enthusiastic about it. Was a challenge, right? Can we bring this to Southern California? Can we entice people? Is there an appetite here? Are there fans of vintage computing? And what we also found at the other events that we went to is the community is just so enthusiastic and so friendly that we were like, this is great. And that's what we found. So we did it for the first time last year. And folks are stoked to come back and do it again. I think we heard one person say, I found my tribe.
Yeah. We're expecting over 1,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It is going on for 2 days next weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Correct.
I honestly think, Mickey, I think it's kind of like cars. Everybody remembers their first car. Mine would be the Chevy Vega, and they love to talk about it and reminisce and talk about the radio it had in it or this. But honestly, a lot of us computer people, we like talking about our first computers because we remember getting down and dirty. And you remember saying, oh, yeah, 128 megs of RAM, or if we're lucky, and that's
over 128 bytes of RAM.
Exactly. Or you talk about the hard drive that was 10 megabytes. That was seriously the size of a shoebox.
Yeah.
People love to talk about that. Do you find people come to this event and the other ones that you've been to around the country, and they become friends with people,
Oh
just
yeah.
sharing, waxing poetic.
Yeah. We were talking about it just the other day that you don't, in everyday life, you cannot meet, you're unlikely to meet someone who shares an interest in vintage computing. But
Yeah.
here they're collected, and so you can build that camaraderie, and then the network just grows and grows.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have this video channel too. What kind of things do you do with the video channel that kind of ties with the festival you've put on?
Well, we bake some recipes. We might get into crocheting from time to
I
time.
hope not,
You know,
really. Yeah,
one
no.
of my favorite aspects is working with nails and wood.
Yeah,
Um, no,
great.
not all this stuff. Well, most of this up here works now, but
Right.
not all of it does. And there's tweaks and there's fixes. There's known issues. There's things to watch out for. REFA capacitors, other capacitors, video outputs. So I covered a lot of that stuff, but one of the things a lot of people might not realize is there is new products for this old hardware. There, like this, reach back here. This is a FujiNet. I don't know if you've heard of this. They
Right.
make these for multiple computers now. Well, when I say makes, there's a group, the FujiNet team, that designs the hardware for the love of it, and then they go, here is how to make it, and then people make it, and then they sell it. So this is about, depending on where you get it and what you get, 60, 70, $80, depending on the model. And this particular one plugs into an Atari 8-bit computer, and this will act as the disk drive.
Oh,
You can print to a PDF file on the SD card here.
right.
I can't remember anything.
You can get on the internet.
Well, I was going to get to that
Oh,
part.
sorry.
So, you can put your software on the SD card, acts like the disk drive. I'm getting too excited.
Yeah.
But you can also get onto the internet with this. This is Wi-Fi capable, and they've
Wow.
written some games that you can play other people over the internet on your old Atari or Commodore or Apple II. And they've written some games that you can be on a Commodore and play over the internet against somebody on an Atari. And
Right.
that's something you couldn't even do back in the day. So again, new technology, new products. This is the Apple version of that as well.
Oh, this is amazing.
This comes out of Poland from Lothrak. This is for the Atari 8-bit, and this is a MIDI device in here.
Wow.
So this is the audio output, and so from your Atari 8-bit, you can play songs that play MIDI out to your speakers, which, that wasn't that capable or even that small way back then.
But he was asking the tie-in to the show is you'll talk about these things on your channel, but at these shows you can buy them and you can learn how to use them, and it's just tying it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get people that come out to the Steve that bring their 286 or they bring, that maybe is running some really cool stuff? Do they sell that at these shows, or is it mainly stuff like this where they can add on and really get benefits from running that old technology and having a good time with it?
Well, we have pretty much three. What's the phrase? We have exhibitors, we have vendors, and we have attendees.
Right.
And of course, mixed in there, we have staff and whatever going on, speakers, presentations, and all.
Oh, cool.
So exhibitors are ones, they get a table or two or three, and they bring out their favorite retro. They're not there to sell anything, and they're just there to hang out, show their cool things. Maybe they're showing their game that they wrote in the 90s or what they were doing with printers and such. And then we have vendors who bring in some computers, maybe to show things, but they're selling old hardware, new hardware, refurbished hardware. So there's that. And then we have a consignment area. So if you're just attending or you're an exhibitor and you want to get rid of some of your duplicates or some other, you're done with Commodore and you want to really go with something else, you can bring it into our consignment area and sell it. We, of course, for that, keep a 20% fee for that and pay the credit card charges and whatever. But
we bring the audience.
Yeah, so we bring in the attendees. So attendees can check out the exhibitors tables. They can check out what the vendors are doing. They can check out consignment. They can check out the presentations. We have panels. We have a super fun game show planned for Saturday at 6
Oh, how cool.
with
Yeah.
audience participation. So it's some pretty fun stuff.
What is some of the best advancements? I know this is so wide, but the best advancements when it comes to the technology that maybe you're looking at with the Vintage Computer Festival that's happening next weekend, that you get to the show and you see somebody who's brought something and it's like, oh wow, that's cool. Has there something that's really knocked your socks off?
Oh yeah, all over the place.
Yeah.
Not just at our show or other shows, just out there in the world. We have a gentleman, Shawn Harrington, who loves the Aquarius computer. Do you remember the Aquarius?
Gosh, I don't know.
If you ever went for a timeshare lecture where they're like, sit down for 2 hours and get a free computer, they would give you an Aquarius. So
wow.
It was from Mattel. It was one of those orphan computers, the ones that didn't sell as well, because everybody came out with their computer, Mattel and ColecoVision and whatever.
Dreamcast.
So the Aquarius is a little orphan, but Shawn's picked it up, and he now actually makes the Aquarius Plus, which is the modern version of it that will work with stuff from the past, but also get you those new things like internet access and just better graphics and stuff if the software is written to do that.
Well, and the reason that so many people are able to do this now is because of that maker community. We have access to the 3D printers, and there's just so much more you can do in your own workshop. So people are producing these things, these new devices at home.
So some of the speakers could include somebody that's created something like this. Who else is lined up?
We got folks that were in the industry way back, like early game programmers. We've got a gentleman who worked for Intellivision and is now part of, they call themselves the Blue Sky Rangers. They're actually kind of alumni group, but they were the first ones hired mainly from aerospace to be programmers for the gaming industry that just didn't exist at the time.
And he's going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, he's getting out of college and the parents are like, you're going to go into this? And he's like, I want to write games, or, at least I'm not sure if that was Bill, but I've heard that from some of the early programmers. So again, Bill is going to be there talking about that. And if you played some of those games back then, he wrote some of those.
Oh, wow.
Another speaker we have is Lee, who, do you remember the Osborne one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Lee designed it. So he's going to be there talking.
Wow.
But he's not going to talk about probably talk about the Osborne a little bit. How could he not?
Yeah.
But he's actually heavy into social media. He was designing social media before we even knew there was social media. So he's got a new book, and he's going to be there talking about that, about what he perceives as the implications of social media and where it should go next.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Again, a lot of people are going to be heading out to it. Well, what's the cost? You can buy tickets. They're all on the website, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can buy tickets online or at the door. They're $25 a day. We've got a deal for the weekend for $40. We have another ticket that enables you to kind of support the show a little more. It's called the Vintage Fan Bundle. So it gets you a t-shirt and a fun badge. And some applause as you walk past the registration table.
I'm thinking I might have to try and take the weekend off work to come on out for this, because this is going to be an absolute blast.
It's a 3-day weekend. It's President's Day weekend. You get an extra travel day.
Exactly. Well, we take the day off a different day because we do a big Tucson rodeo thing out here, and it's enormous. But this would be absolutely a lot of fun. I want our listeners to definitely check out your website. And again, follow you on social and check out all the fun stuff you guys are doing, because, I mean, you did radio some years ago. I know you were doing a tech show as well. I mean, before tech shows were tech shows, right?
Right. The call-in shows, why is my Windows not booting right? And you update us out. What's wrong with it? It was actually kind of fun to do it by phone.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Smoke's supposed to come out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always kind of scary.
Yeah, what color is the smoke?
Yeah. All right, what's the website address so our listeners can follow you and check it out right now?
It is vcfsocal.com. So Vintage Computer Festival, VCF.
I want to thank both of you for coming on Tech Talk Radio and talking about, like I said, I got really excited when I saw this. This is an absolute blast. Take the drive. It's only about 6.5 hours to get from Tucson to Orange County. And again, all the information is available up on your website. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
We talked about PC Manager, apparently now available for Windows users. Microsoft putting this out, making it available in the Microsoft Store. But Shawn went ahead and just grabbed it, and right away you're not happy with it.
So I'm going to tell people, if you get Microsoft PC Manager, when you open it for the first time, there are 2 checked boxes
All right.
in the dialog that pop up. One that says start automatically when Windows is when signed into Windows.
All right.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm still not a fan of
The
that.
second one says restore settings to ensure the native Windows experience.
Wait, what does that mean?
And below that it says restore default settings, taskbar.
What?
All of my if I clicked start, all of my taskbar settings that I have set
Right.
would be back to default.
Oh, wow.
That means my layout, that means my apps, that means Copilot's going to be back, that means the task view is going to be back, that means all of the widgets are going to be back. I would have walked away from my computer if that happened.
That was
I've spent so much time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like right now I've got the search bar hidden. I've got it I've got my taskbar the way I want it.
Right. Right.
I don't see the widgets. I don't see anything. If that reset, oh man, I would have been hot. Because it's just like somebody else drives your car. They move your seats, they move your mirrors, right? Everybody gets a little pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Like that would have made me mad. Like that's the kind of stuff that really irks me about the Windows experience. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people.
I'm gonna uncheck that.
All right.
Before
you're still gonna move forward, or no?
Well, yeah, but I mean that's one little thing. But that's something that like I like the taskbar the way it is. Like I don't want the widgets. I don't want the task view. I don't want Copilot. I don't want suggested apps. I don't want there are certain things that you can turn off and tailor so that you don't get a full bloated experience from Windows 11.
Right. And the problem here is that what they're going for, you think?
Oh, 100%.
Let's put the standards on there, like Copilot. So if you
get it back to the basics, so then they just get frustrated and leave it. And then every time they click on the start menu, now they've got suggested apps. Now they can give you suggested apps. They can tailor it to your experience. They can use your data to push you certain things and advertisements and blah, 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 blah. That's the kind of crap that makes me mad.
All right. Okay. So, but you're going to pursue it. Now there was previous, I'm trying to remember to be able to, remove unused programs or remove, shader files and all of that stuff. You could do that. You're going to be able to do that with this, but it's going to be a little more in depth.
Yeah. So again, it's so if anybody's used CCleaner, by Preform, this is basically Microsoft's version of CCleaner. The layout looks the same. It's kind of got the same things, but just at a Microsoft level, right? So it's it's kind of building in. It's kind of combining Windows Defender and CCleaner all in one. It's got your Windows protection. Hey, your Windows is your Windows up to date? Pop-up management. Notifications, that stuff. It can do a scan of your drives. It can manage your downloaded files. It can, you can look at all your different drives and see large files. It can look at duplicate files, temporary files, that kind of stuff. And then in the apps, right, you can do startup apps. You can uninstall apps, add more apps to the store, etc. And then it's got a quick thing. This is kind of cool. You can get quick there's a toolbox option, which gives you quick things to like screenshots, video and voice recorder, closed captions, notepad calculator, things like that.
But no WordPad, you notice that? Have you?
There's Notepad.
Notepad. Have you run 24H2 yet? That got rid of WordPad.
Probably.
Yeah, and it's also gotten rid of. The biggest problem I've had is with network shares, and I've got to sit down and figure that out yet because
I still have WordPad, so I'm apparently not on the most up to date.
Yeah, you haven't done that one yet. I was working on a system the other day, and they wanted to update, and I told them you might want to hold off. Let's just wait. Let's just wait just a little bit. So again, all right. So PC Manager, it's available in the Windows Store. Make sure you check what you're clicking on. Just don't try and go through it real fast. All right. So there is a company out there that has been making some really good products since 2002. Actually, they made electronics before then, and it's called Elenco. And if you've heard of the company, Elenco has a product out there called Snap Circuits, and they are fun ways for kids, youth to learn about electronic components, but also they're a lot of fun for us adults too. They put out a brand new one. It is from Elenco called Snap Circuits Top Secret Spy Kit. And what you get is you get it's not a PCB board, but it is a board and everything snaps. There's no soldering, no tools. And what I have built, and I did this in about 10 minutes, was a motion alarm. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. All right. So it's powered by 3 AA batteries, and I will move. And as soon as I move, the motion detector continues to go. So again, this is really cool. You could build it, but just one of the many projects that you could do. There's 25 projects available in the Spy Kit. And remember, it comes with everything except for the batteries. You just plug them in, you follow the directions, you learn the circuitries, transistors, but all without having to do any soldering, without having to do any wiring, and learn how some of this stuff works. And they're interchangeable. And the Spy Kit is one that I'm going to send to you, Shawn. So
excellent.
You'll have all these parts, and again, all the different projects you can make, whether it be a tripwire, a motion detection, and you can have fun putting this stuff together. Would you want to do this?
100%.
Yeah.
No, this is the kind of stuff that I like doing. I like tinkering with stuff like this. I mean, I would. I know Max will love this. He likes Legos. He's obsessed with Legos right now.
Oh, then he'll love this.
He'll like this, and I just feel a basic understanding of electronics can make and break a lot of things in your life. Right? There are a lot of little things that, with my rudimentary knowledge of electronics, I mean, I'm not an electrician, but I've been able to repair a lot of things just based on, oh, it's a blown fuse, it's a blown resistor, it's a blown capacitor, or hey, I can use my multimeter and test this and know that this component is the bad one and replace it. Like, I've saved thousands and thousands of dollars over my lifetime in electronics because I've just fixed them instead of just going, it's junk and throwing it out.
Same with computers. You know,
I've got too many computers to count. So
right. The other one that I got, now this one I ended up buying. So we got these in the Spy Kit. So for you and Justin, but I bought this one and I love it. It's a Snap Circuits Explorer. It's the Junior, Snap Circuits Junior. This one has 100 projects. And the project that I built and I tried to show on television was what's called the flying saucer. And you put all of it together on again, it's a plastic board. It all snaps into place. You follow the directions, and then you push a button, and this little flying saucer goes spinning into the air. Problem is, I hooked it up backwards on the circuit, so it's good to know about circuitry and whatnot. And so it didn't take off. And it wasn't until we had finished the live segment on television. I walked over to the other counter, and I was pulling it apart, and I said, "Wait a minute!" And I connected it the opposite way. And then, of course, it spun and it went into the air. So Snap Circuits Explorer runs about $30, and you can get the Spy Kits for about $50. But I want to thank Snap Circuits Elenco for sending that to us so we can play around with it and have some fun with it. And this one only requires 2 AA batteries. So, and again, there's like 100 different projects.
Yeah, and these are not that expensive. Like that Spy Kit one was only $49.99.
Yeah.
So, and it's in stock on their website.
You'll have good fun with it, and it's good for the kids because they'll see how it gets all put together, and then be able to understand. Okay, that's how circuitry, transistors, electronics work, and the only electronics are the batteries. Now you don't want to give these are F7 and up, but you don't want to just give the kids a battery. You can actually work with them and put these together.
But I've bought you bought the child version, right? So I bought.
You have the adult version of something.
Well, this is
or the grown up version, I should say, not
48.
adult.
This is a 48-bit digital electronic clock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
which has the entire every single piece of component, and it comes with a complete base solder
Oh,
board
cool.
where you
Oh, but you,
solder every little itty bitty component on here. The
right.
resistors, the transistor, everything. So
Are you good at soldering? I'm terrible at soldering.
I thoroughly enjoy it. I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I'm okay.
Right. Yeah, I'm the kind of guy who would solder my eyeball shut. It just, I'm terrible with stuff like that.
No, I do a lot of I don't do a lot of soldering at work, but we make a lot of our own custom cables. So I do a lot of XLR soldering, for 3, 4, and 5 pin XLRs, power. Um, I do all my own hobby stuff here at home, RC planes, tons
Right.
of soldering in RC planes and drones and stuff. I mean, I've got 2 soldering irons in my workshop and
Wow. Yeah.
flux, and I've got flux and solder and
Yeah, I'm terrible with that stuff. Oh well. Well, all right. So that's pretty cool. Where do you find that at to build your own clock? And I know they even have like you could build your own radios too.
I just kind of scour the electronics subreddits and the ham radio clubs and stuff that
Right.
I'm part of, because a lot of this stuff is it's mostly for kids or people learning, but it's like
Right.
it's fun to do. There, on this Elenco website too, like they have a make your own FM radio kit.
Yeah.
So you can buy this. It's $29, and you get all the components and a circuit board, and you build a transistor radio.
Yep. I think they even have an AM FM one as well. So you could even do an AM one, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, just if you're into that kind of stuff, yeah, AM FM radio transistor kit, $65. And what I like about it though is it explains things to you. Like, here's what this piece does,
right.
instead of just saying solder this on here.
Right. Exactly. Wow. All right. I wanted to share this with you. Verge had a story, and we were talking about Copilot a little bit ago, that LG and Samsung are adding Microsoft Copilot to their TVs.
Ugh.
And do we want AI on our television? I mean, the benefit of Roku is, you can evoke voice. You could tell it, I want a comedy or I want a specific show. But do we really want to have Copilot as a part of our interface? And does that mean more ads?
Of course, it means more ads.
Mm-hmm.
It means more detailed ads. It means more targeted ads. It means more understanding your habits, which
Right.
means more targeted ads. It'll understand targeted ads based on the time you watch things. Like if you're a habitual watcher before dinner time, you're gonna get more food ads, right? You're gonna get it's all it is just targeted data collection, and
Right.
that's AI is a tool,
Right.
right? That's what I use it for. I use it for a tool. I just don't understand. There's so much data collection happening on everybody and everything. It's scary,
Right.
and I I don't need AI running everything for me. And a coworker, we were talking about AI the other day at work, and a coworker made a really good point. AI, they're always touting we're 82.6% accurate, right? Or when they do AI stuff. Well, if I was 82.6% accurate in my job, I'd get fired.
Good point.
Right? That's what my coworker said. My coworker is what he does most of our like video, our graphics for the TV shows and the broadcasts that we do. He said, if I made that many mistakes on the graphics that I produced, I'd be fired.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So everybody's so excited that they're 82% accurate. Like, there's still, we've talked about this before on the show, there's still the human element in everything we do in our lives that is being replaced by computers. And it's becoming scary how little we're interacting with ourselves, let alone other people. And we're relying so much on AI to do stuff.
Maybe too much. All right, we're going to take another quick break. We'll come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. You can find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. But Shawn is going on a road trip. He's going to tell us more about that coming up on Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird. Find us on the World Wide Web at techtalkradio.com.
Conventions can be fun. And Shawn, a little jealous, just found out he's going to be going to one of the premier conventions for broadcasting.
Yeah, so it'll be the first time I've gotten to go in my 20 years in broadcast, which is
Really, you've
crazy to
never
think
been to
about.
NAB before?
I've never been to NAB. I've only been to
Oh,
Vegas twice.
oh man, I've been to an
So
NAB show and it's a blast.
yeah, so NAB is the National Association of Broadcasters show. It's their yearly. They do a big one in Vegas. They do one in New York. But it's the who's it and what's it of broadcast. It's in Vegas. It's 5 days. I get to go for all 5 days. I'm excited because for one, again, I've never been, but it's a great opportunity for me to look and see the new technology, meet with our vendors.
Mhm.
We've already got vendor meetings lined up. My calendar's already populating with meetings because it's everybody that's everybody in the business goes. So I'm really excited.
Now, will companies like Blackmagic Design that makes the A10 Mini and so many other broadcasting products be on site?
I guarantee every piece of equipment we use to do this show, somebody from that business will be there. Stream
Right.
Elgato will be there. ATEM, Blackmagic, uh, Logitech. I mean, it's CES on steroids. It's CES at the broadcast level, right? Yeah, CES is the consumer electronics show, so it's all consumer level electronics, right? You take it one step up from that, you get to prosumer, right? And then you're at the pro level of equipment. So, we're going to be seeing and listening to. There's going to be keynotes and discussion panels and stuff like that. So, this is going to be the topic at CES was AI
Hmm.
and automated cars and AI and stuff. And so that's a big topic. But the big topic is cloud still,
Right.
right? Cloud moving productions to the cloud. So that's part of something we're working on at the university is what can we leverage in the cloud for our productions versus staying on prem.
Right.
Um, so it's just going to be 5 days of networking and knowledge based learning and getting to experiment and play around with some of the new stuff.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So this is when is it? It's going to be in April.
April 5th to the 9th in Vegas.
So when you
So,
get back, we'll get like a full rundown of what's going on in the
oh
world of
man, I'm gonna have so
podcasting.
many stickers and brochures to go through, and I can give you guys a rundown on what I saw and what I liked, and I mean,
All right. And maybe next week on the show too, because we're gonna send you out the spy kit from Snap Circuits. We'll see what you can build, right?
oh yeah, dude, I love that kind of stuff, and
All right.
I mean, Max loves his computer engineering for babies book, so I'm sure he's gonna love this.
Computer engineering for babies.
Okay, you
I'm
brought
gonna
out
have
the
to look
spy
for
kit
this
this
one.
week.
Yeah.
I will show and demo the computer engineering for babies book and the computer engineering for big babies book next week on the show.
All right. Perfect. That's it for this week. Have yourselves a fantastic week. We'll be back next week with some great stuff. As you heard, I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird. Have a great week.